Thea is awakened. Welcome. No time to waste. You are a deity of the High Pantheon, and you must help your worshippers survive the darkness. So what now, you ask? You are divine, yes, but you have little power, and so you will know the world through your people's eyes. This means sometimes you will encounter your own divine messengers, and maybe even face your own avatars. Weird, I know. Your first mission is to survive. Every critter is trying to make sure you stay down, so get food and craft better equipment to protect yourselves. You will guide your people to victory, either by sheer survival and progress, or by solving the cosmic tree's mystery. I am but a messenger. Theodore, you can call me, but let us focus on you. Thea is a broken land. The underworld is shut, and the undead roam the earth, and creatures of darkness that ruled for a century want you dead. First, go and explore your village. Check the inventory to see your stocks, and set people to gather food and fuel, like wood. Without food, people will starve, and without fuel, they will not craft or even heal, so these are really important. Yes, once you've visited your village, check out the people standing outside, the exploring party. Select your party and send them to me. I will wait for your people outside the village. I have marked your people's map with a big blue question mark, so they will see where I am. Oh, and if you ever forget what your current task is, just check out your logbook. You stumble across some ruins of an old city, engulfed in mist and mystery. search the ruins and find an interesting building to explore, but it seems half submerged in water. As you enter, a creature comes out from the waters to attack you. You search the buildings and discover a supplies store still intact. Theodore welcomes you. Well, hello there. I see you're finding your feet and making first steps into the world. Well done. Events, such as meeting me, will occur throughout your adventures. Sometimes they are random, sometimes predestined, and always varied. Events can occur when you're out exploring, but also globally, or within your village. So remember, leaving your settlement unattended may be dangerous. Many events will ask you to bring stuff or do things in order to move to the next stage. I asked you before to gather food and fuel in your village. So you can gather resources in your village, but also by setting up a camp when you're out exploring. To set up camp, stand on an empty hex and choose the tent icon from the mini HUD. Good. Now events can lead to conversations or just random disasters, but they can also lead to challenges. To show you what I mean, track down a pack of boars nearby, marked by a blue question mark, and bring me back their bones. You find the boars Theodore told you about. There is only a couple, so it should not be too hard. However, instead of a straight fight, you can try to do a proper hunt. If you have the right skills, that is. Or better yet, you can go all native on these beasties and wrestle them to the ground. Not an easy option, that one. Great. You have the right skill, in this case gathering, to enter into an alternate challenge. In non-fight challenges, the wounds you get during the challenge do not carry over after it finishes, meaning you have less of a risk of dying. Damn, you spooked the boars and they run off. No worries. You find the boars Theodore told you about. There is only a... You have slaughtered the boars, and you are able to salvage much usable stuff from them. The downside to choosing combat is that your people may get wounds, and with heavy wounds they will risk death every turn until they heal once more. Theodore welcomes you. Well, hello there. I see you're finding your feet and making first steps into the world. Well done. Wonderful. Well done. And keep your resources. They may come in handy on a rainy day, you know. As you saw, you got both experience points and research points, on top of any material rewards. All of these will help you grow stronger. So, you've discovered that some events will let you solve a situation through more than combat. These non-combat challenges are often just as hard, but it means that fighting is not the only way. Remember, wounds from combat challenges can kill your people even after the fight, so choosing a different path is often safer. And having a medic in your party will help decrease the chances of dying as well. Anyway, great job on the boars. Practice makes perfect, you know. So now that the boars are done for, let's practice one more challenge type. Social encounters. I spotted a fellow demon called Hurlik, and I want you to convince him to give you some gold. When you have it, bring it back here. You find the Hurlik Theodore spoke of. He sits on a rock and stares at you with his large yellow eyes.
What do you want? You looking for trouble? 'Cause I can get you some. Little? Who are you calling little, you overgrown pile of softy fish bags, you?
The creature huffs and puffs at you, shaking its fists violently.
Sir, don't you see that I am a woman? But a compliment, you say? Well, I suppose being little is way better than being big. So you're kind of clever to call each other little, even though you're clearly vertically challenged. So, what's your business here? All right. Theodore is clearly up to his old tricks. Sending you here for his gold. Here you go, and tell him to come himself next time.
woman owes me, but I have no desire to speak to her. Anyway, it's a matter of principles rather than the goal itself, so just keep it. You may need it to craft better stuff, you know. In social challenges, as you saw, you will face your opponent, but different skill sets become relevant, such as speech, attractiveness, and will. So just remember, different challenges use different skills. And so your party composition can have a great impact on the way you explore the world. As you perhaps noticed, you got research points as well as XP. You need research points to discover new materials and recipes for crafting and new buildings for your village. Now, you will notice that some equipment as well as buildings in your village require a lot of stuff, often things that are not easily gathered or commonly found. For such needs, I also recommend scouring the world map in search of old ruins, abandoned tunnels, ancient towers. You get the gist, right? It so happens that I know of an old dungeon that you can explore and loot. I have marked this place on your map. Well, yes, I have a second task for you to do at any time you're ready. Craft me 10 cooked, baked, or roasted food, any type. You may want to research some varieties as well to match your supplies. Also, leave these 10 crafted foods in the village until I show up. You don't have to rush with this one. Take your time and get to grips with managing your settlement. Remember to check the magical help button to read more. Yeah, I know, more about any mechanics. Yes, wonderful. You made your first batch of prepared food. No longer are you a mere scavenger. Now you can cook. Crafted foods are more efficient than the raw stuff, so you may want to take them when you're out exploring, as they are lighter to carry. So now I have a harder task for you. Build me a building in your village. Any building will do.
You enter an underground complex that turns out to be some old, long-forgotten dungeon. You're not sure what used to be the purpose of these dungeons, but they seem large. Inside, there are two main tunnels leading deeper into the complex. You take a left and go down a long, winding corridor with empty alcoves spread about in equal spaces, each alcove hiding a potential doorway to explore. You enter one such opening, and you arrive at a small, empty chamber. You were about to leave when a ghost stands in your way. "I am Zarazar. Please don't go yet. My spirit has been trapped here for decades. I cannot leave here, you see, because everywhere I go, I bring disease and death with me. But I do not want to do this." No, wait. In this chamber and only here, I do not spread the filthy plague unless I touch someone. This is why I haven't left in decades. Please help me. All you have to do is to willingly let me touch you. I know this is asking much, but if you win with the disease, and I think you will, I will reward you, I swear. Once you have healed, I will no longer bear my curse of Zarazar. I was a Dola once, a friendly demon helping people. If you help, I will bless your entire... The sickness was too strong. One of your people falls ill as a result. The Zarazar cries and disappears, whispering only, "I am so sorry. I didn't mean to." A small group of travelers passes by your village. You exchange basic supplies and talk. Because of your kindness, they tell you of a herbalist living in a solitary hut out in the wilderness. They say she can cure any poison and even heal wounds, for a price, of course. They give you a map to the herbalist's hut and depart on their journey. A pigeon flies to your village with a note attached. It reads, "Dear residents of the lovely settlement, if you will, please visit my humble abode placed not so far from your lovely home. It is very nice. I am a blacksmith of dwarven tradition and I have an offering." You enter and inside there are two main tunnels. You take the right turn and go down a wide corridor with many doors on both sides. You try one of the chambers, and you see it must have been some old jail, as there are many open cells with iron bars. Before you can explore more, you enter. You come back to the ruins, but realize either an earthquake or someone powerful has. You stumble across some ruins of an old city, engulfed in mist and mystery. You search the abandoned abodes and open some old dusty cellar. As the heavy door You search the buildings and discover a supplies store still intact. passage in the Easterlands. Depending on the child's talents, it would either have its hair cropped to join the ranks of the warriors, or it would have its hair plaited to symbolize their aptitude for knowledge and the crafts. On rare occasions, the head would be shaved to signal the makings of a witch or a wise one. Now, at the time of the darkness, these rites of passage have become much more demanding and often lethal. Still, it is a way to make your people stronger and to give you a better chance of fighting against the darkness. There are 3 rituals that your children can enter. 1, the arena, which is more brutal and often more deadly. The other, spirit walking, less violent yet equally dangerous. Finally, there is the quiet room, where the risk is lowest. The arena is a test for those who are to become warriors or hunters. 6 children enter the fighting pits and only 1 emerges. The victor is blessed by the gods with strength to keep you safe. The spirit walk is an ancient ritual where 6 children enter a trance together and travel the spirit world. Some will never return, but those who prove worthy may become many things, including magic users or wise men and women who lead you with their knowledge. The quiet room is perhaps the safest trial, yet some may still prove too weak to endure it. 6 children enter. The room is sealed with no food and water, but only tools. The quiet room is set up to test the children's wits and manual skill. A brave new worker joins the village, proving their worth and talents. Their hair is braided to symbolize their place among the workers and villagers. 2 more children survive the ritual, foreshadowing great things in the future. However, it is not their time to mature yet.
An unexpected visitor, Theodore, arrives at your village.
Your food stocks have grown. Your people are learning how to live in the awakened Thea once more. But the darkness is not gone, always looming in the shadows, lurking behind corners. It is time to try and find clues as to what happened and how to repair it. Ah, that's the spirit. I knew we could count on you. I must warn you, others have tried and failed before you, so the road will not be easy. I know some, but I do not hold the answers you need to seek. I know that once Thea was a land ruled by high magic, a land where demons were kept in check by the peoples, and by the cosmic balance upheld by the gods. The pillars of Thea stood sturdy and held our world together. Now the barriers between the lands of the living and those of the dead are torn asunder, and thus darkness holds a tight grip on us. Without your aid, whatever made the sun return may not hold for long, and the age of darkness may descend upon us once again. There have been those who sought to undo this curse, those who were charged with the guardianship of Thea's pillars, and who have failed us. Some were the ancient peoples you call elves. Some were avatars of your gods, and some just people who proved worthy. And yet they all failed thus far. Here, on this map, I marked a spot where one such guardian may hold answers for you.
Without giving you a chance to say anything more, Theodore disappears, leaving you with a map.
Well done. You have your very first buildings. As you can see, it takes many resources to build a decent abode. Or perhaps your god gifted you, in which case you cheated. Remember, the better the minerals you use, the better the bonuses from your buildings. You have a limit of 10 buildings, but you can demolish the old ones to make way for new. One of the ways to win over the darkness is for you to research more recipes, grow your population, and build more houses. So get going.
passes by your village, stopping only for a drink and a chat if you're willing. You share a drink and some stories. As thanks, the dwarf tells you of an old mine he knows. He marks a route for a gold mine. Another night falls over Thea, and restless souls of the damned seek out the living in envy and anger. You can almost feel the approaching wave of these infernal wraiths seeking to burden your souls. But this night, a welcomed guest is seen in the shadows, a lapidog, the spirit catcher. This bizarre-looking creature, resembling an overgrown toad with long claws, yellow warts, and a row of razor-sharp teeth, is actually a humble servant of Veles, in the old days tasked with the hunting of wayward souls and misbehaved wraiths, but now hopelessly overfed and ever busy with his task of devouring evil spirits. Thanks to the lapidog, your people sleep well this night, and one wakes with greater resolve.